Friends, would you believe that there's a country in the world where, while people in one city are having their morning tea, in another part of the city, people are preparing to cook dinner and go to sleep? Yes, we're talking about a very special country, Russia. Russia is a country that not only appears large on the map, but also amazes the entire world with its mysteries, strength, history, and unique truths. A country where the cold can be so dangerous that hot water thrown into the air can turn into ice before it reaches the ground. Where, in some places, winter temperatures can drop so low that mobile phones can die within minutes. Where cars have to be kept running 24 hours a day to prevent their engines from freezing. And where people apply special creams to their faces before going out to protect their skin from the icy winds. But the most surprising thing is that the people there accept this as a part of normal life. Friends, Russia isn't just a land of cold and snow. It's also a treasure trove of mysteries. There's a place called the City of the Dead, where hundreds of years old stone tombs still harbor human skeletons. Meanwhile, Russia boasts a lake so deep that even if all the world's rivers were poured into it, it would take months to fill. This is why Russia is known as the home of natural wonders. Now, listen to this. A metro station in Russia is so beautiful that a first-time visitor might mistake it for a royal palace, not a railway station. Glittering chandeliers, marble walls, and gold-like decorations make millions travel here daily, making them feel as if they were walking inside a royal palace. Perhaps this is why Russia's metro system is considered one of the world's most beautiful metro systems. Friends, Russia's history is no less than a fairy tale. This is the country that made history by sending the world's first woman into space. This is the country that produced many scientists and artists whose discoveries and creations changed the world. And this is the country that once had rulers whose stories still inspire people today. If we told you that Russia celebrates a festival where people jump into icy water, you might think it's funny. But it's true. People here consider it a symbol of faith and courage. Wading into freezing water in the bitter cold is a matter of pride for them. The most interesting thing about Russia is that modernity and tradition coexist here. On one hand, there are cities like Moscow, where the glittering skyscrapers at night can remind you of New York. On the other hand, there are villages where people still live with centuries-old traditions. In some places, super-fast trains run, while in others, people live a traditional life in old wooden houses. Every year, thousands of Indian students go to Russia to study, especially for medical studies. Russians love Indian culture, Bollywood, and Indian food. So friends, today we're going to take you on an exciting journey through Russia, the world's largest and most mysterious country, where we'll learn shocking facts that will leave anyone speechless. To make this journey a success, please like this video now, subscribe to our channel, and press the bell icon. Stay with us until the end of this special journey through Russia. There are areas here that even scientists are amazed by. You'll be surprised to know that in Russia, the time changes 11 times in a single day. If you're in one part, it might be 5 a.m., and if you're in another, it might be 9 a.m. This country spans 17,098,246 square kilometers, stretching from Eastern Europe to Northern Asia, and only 144 million people live in this vast area. This is why, with the exception of Russia's capital and a few major cities, You won't find people here even if you look for them in the villages. On one hand, you'll find modern life in the cities, tall buildings and dazzling streets, while on the other, you'll find nomads living in tents in the snowy desert. Each region of Russia boasts a unique way of life, culture, and uniqueness. 70% of Russians adhere to Christianity, most of whom adhere to the Orthodox branch. 8 to 10% are Muslims, and 15 to 18% do not identify with any religion, while the remaining 2% are mixed. Rubles are used as money here, and 100 Indian rupees are equivalent to 86 rubles. There are many areas where nature has hidden immense wealth within itself, as Russia is an extremely large country. However, the inhabitants here are very few. There are only a few inhabited cities, and the biggest thing is that the population here isn't growing as fast as in other Arab or African countries. The reasons behind this are that Russia is an extremely cold country, and many of its women often go abroad to work, and the women here are very fond of Indian men. That's why you may have heard that many Indians have married Indian women. Another thing that might surprise you is that Russia, as vast as it is today, was even larger before the collapse of the Soviet Union. When the Soviet Union broke up in 1991, many Russian countries separated, such as Ukraine, Belarus, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan. Today, 80% of Russia is empty. Where no one lives, there are only forests, snow, mountains, and freezing cold. And beneath that ice lies precious metals, gas, minerals, and gold. This is Lake Baikal. This lake is crucial for the entire world because it provides 25% of the world's drinking water. These are some of Russia's deserted villages, and there are over 20,000 such villages that were once inhabited. But now they are completely empty and are called ghost villages. This is Omiak, the world's coldest village. Living here is not everyone's cup of tea, because everything freezes in the cold season. Food, roads, vehicles, trees, clothes, water, even your eyelashes. Temperatures in this village can drop to minus 60 degrees. To understand this country, we need to know its history, and two important cities illustrate this history very simply. One is Moscow, Russia's current capital, and the other is St. Petersburg, Russia's former capital. Russia began as a medieval state called Avon Russia, which emerged in the 9th century. The cultural and musical values of today's Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus all developed within this state. However, the Mongol invasion of Kievan Rus in the 13th century severely damaged and weakened it. At the same time as the fragmentation of this state, the city of Moscow gradually rose in importance. Moscow was initially a small fortress town, but its secure and central location allowed it to emerge as a significant and important city in the Russian lands. In the 14th and 15th centuries, Moscow's rulers, especially Ivan I, Ivan III, and Ivan IV, consolidated their power and attempted to reunite the previously fragmented Russian states. During this period, Moscow became known as the Third Rome, with the belief that after the fall of the Roman and Byzantine empires, Moscow would become the true Christian cultural center. This belief profoundly influenced Russian religion, politics, and public thinking. Between the 16th and 17th centuries, the Moscow Empire became a powerful state. Ivan the Terrible declared himself Tsar for the first time and doubled Russia's territory through massive military operations. During this time, Moscow became a major center of cultural, musical, religious, and military power. The Kremlin, a symbol of Russia's power, developed during this period. In the 17th century, the Romanov dynasty came to power and gained control over Russian politics. But amidst this stability, Russia lagged far behind Europe technologically and culturally. To address this shortcoming, Russia needed a worthy Tsar, and this was accomplished by Peter the Great, known today as Peter the Great. Peter the Great realized that if Russia were to become a modern European power, it would have to adopt Western technology, education, and culture. Toward this goal, he laid the foundation of the city of St. Petersburg in 1703. This city marked a revolutionary turning point in Russian history. It was a unique door that opened Russia to Europe, adopting European architecture, art, and culture. In 1712, Peter the Great moved the capital from Moscow to St. Petersburg. This change transformed Russia's direction and destiny. While Moscow symbolized tradition, religion, and Russian identity, St. Petersburg became a center of modernity, science, maritime power, and Western influence. In the 18th and 19th centuries, St. Petersburg emerged as the true center of the Russian Empire, a vital center of politics, the navy, literature, music, and education. The city produced some of the world's leading artists, philosophers, and scientists. The beginning of the 20th century was turbulent for Russia. The 1905 revolution and the 1917 Bolshevik Revolution, which brought down the entire Russian Empire, began primarily in St. Petersburg. In 1917, the Bolsheviks, led by Lenin, took power and renamed the city Leningrad. With this, Russia transformed from an empire into a Soviet communist state, the USSR. Although Leningrad remained an important center of art and science during the Soviet era, political power once again shifted to Moscow, which became the capital of the Soviet Union. During World War II, Leningrad faced one of the most severe sieges in history. Nazi Germany besieged the city for 900 days. Millions died from hunger, cold, and attacks. Yet, the city remained undefeated. This is what made Leningrad an immortal historical symbol. Then, in 1951, when the Soviet Union collapsed, Russia emerged as an independent nation, revealing itself to the world. Moscow was the capital and center of political power in this new Russia, and it remains so today. Meanwhile, Leningrad was renamed St. Petersburg. This city is known as Russia's cultural capital, home to a diverse array of music, literature, museums, and art.
Let's explore some of Russia's most visited places. This is the Batagai crater, also known as the Mouth of the Earth. It's a massive crater carved into the ground. It was once filled with ice. As temperatures rose, the ground sank in 1960, creating a massive crater. It continues to expand. To see it fully, one must take a trip to the sky. This is Russky Island, nestled amidst the waves of the Pacific Ocean. Russky Island was once a secret corner of Russia, impossible for ordinary people to visit. For decades, this island near Vladivostok served as a military base, inaccessible to the outside world. But today, it has become a fusion of Russian modernity and natural beauty. To reach here, you must cross the world's longest cable-stayed bridge, Russky Bridge. which, as it passes through dense fog, makes you feel as if you're walking through the clouds. As you step across the bridge, you'll encounter towering cliffs, deep blue seas, and the serene silence that is only possible in this remote part of Russia. The most fascinating feature of this island are its former military bases and forts, now in ruins, yet still telling stories of the heroism of the Soviet era. The Vaskaya Battery, located near Novaya Sali, is a tourist attraction, offering a breathtaking view of the sea that begs to be captured on camera. Now, Suzdal is in front of you. Located just a few hours from Moscow, this city is considered the most precious gem of Russia's Golden Ring. Suzdal is not a modern metropolis, but an open-air museum where tall skyscrapers are replaced by carved wooden houses and ancient churches with golden domes. The air here still smells of 11th and 12th century Russia. As you walk its cobblestone streets, you'll realize how strongly this city is connected to its roots. The blue roofs of Suzdal, the Kremlin, and the Nativity Cathedral, adorned with golden stars, resemble castles from a fairy tale, telling the story of Russia's glorious and spiritual history. So friends, this was Russia, a very beautiful and the world's largest country. If you enjoyed this video, our efforts, and our information, please like, share, subscribe to our channel, and press the bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. We'll meet in the next video. Take care. Goodbye.